that don't verbally abuse your members. Don't. Physically as well, don't abuse members physically. Never be involved in fist fights with the church members, unless if maybe it's a crusade. You're dealing with unruly characters, with the shambok, who are not even born again. Yeah, sometimes you do get, I used to have a shambok at the back of the car, going for meetings. Because there are boys who come to disturb. Those ones are not members. They're coming to disturb what is going on. So those ones we handle in a godly way. Praise the Lord. Those ones we do what? We handle. Yeah, because they will be pulling you, ladies, they will be pulling you. So we must just watch out. Don't abuse them. No, we should be protect ushers. There was a pastor who used to have men who are ushers in crusades. Once a guy comes there to disturb, you're going to pay. You're going to seriously pay. You will never even a day come to disturb in that crusade. That man of God will deal with you. They will have shamboks. If they catch you, you will pay. You will pay even for others. You will pay even for others. So I used to have a shambok as well. Because sometimes, especially during night events, there will be sinners who will come in to disturb them. They will deal with you. And sometimes you must also protect church members by informing police of big events. You must inform police of big events. Especially when you're going to have big meetings. Inform the police so that the police can also bring in security and have tough ushers. Alright? And so on and so forth. That's another thing. But when is the family like this, I shouldn't be physically abusing people, hitting with a shampoo, fist fight. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Never take sides in the differences that people are having in the church. Don't take sides. Don't take sides. Okay? Chapter 4, basic ethics, morals, code of conduct for church members. Basic ethics, morals, code of conduct for members. This is not even during the event. This is basic ethics for all, not even a pastor. This is for all of us as members of the church. Basic ethics. Number 1, don't call your pastor by his or her first name. Are you tired? Are you tired? Okay. You're very quiet now. You're getting quiet. You make me worry. Or it is what it is. Number 1, don't call your pastor by his or her first name or old nickname from his or her youth days. Bras Mama, Spencer. Please, man, people don't do this. No, you play football together. This is not football. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't call your pastor by his or her first name. Most of you Africans, you've got 2 or 3 names. You find that you've got your Venek name that we used to call you with at school and so on. Now your pastor, we are calling you by that name, is unethical. Unless if you are not Africans. Don't tell me about the West. You are an African. I'm not saying the Bible says, there's no verse for that, but ethically, even with the way we live as Africans, you cannot call your pastor by his or her first name and call them Ray. Sorry, not even Ray. You go to my vendor, old name. In the African context, that's unethical. Do you call your parents by their old names? You don't. Use the title that the leader prefers. As a church member, ethics for church members. Ethics for church members. Ethics, basic ethics for church members. Don't call your pastor by his or her first name or an old nickname from the youth days. Use the title that your leader prefers. Not even a leader, a person prefers. Some people prefer to be called by the names of their children. Some people prefer to be called by their son name. And so on. Call your pastor according to the culture of the place where he or she is operating. I hope I've answered you there. You are not in America. You are not in Europe. You are in Africa. There should be, that ethical conduct in terms of the cultural context where the church is operating. There must always be a high level of respect, even when we call each other. Okay? Number 2. It is very much unethical to give your pastor a nickname. That is only used by you and your friends or those that you hang around with. Respect your pastor or leader. Church is not a football or street life. Never make a mistake of having a group of friends, then you have a name you have given to your pastor in that group. That is only used by that group. You've crossed another line there. It's unethical. Okay? It might be a positive thing or a negative thing, but don't do it. Okay? There are times wherein seniors will walk in your midst. Don't disgrace your father and the house in the midst of guests. Don't try to do what you have never done in front of the guests. You will disgrace us. There's nothing so disgracing like a person attempting to do something for the first time in front of wrong people. You can't be filling items. You have never filled one. Because there are people who regard maybe the house very high and regard your leader very high. In the midst of those people, guys, don't try to do the unusual. Say, today is the day of unusual. Let me flow in the unusual dimension of the anointing. Don't do the unusual. Don't do the unusual. Alright? There are people who regard us very high and they're going to come. So when they are guests, please, let's handle ourselves well and not do what we don't do. If you are into music and you have never sang, then you want to lead a song. Now we hear the keyboard going tweet, 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 tweet. They're trying to find a key for you. They're trying to find you. They can't find you. Your voice is going this way. The music is going this way. They say, okay, you guys, you're not picking F+. No. It's unethical. It's not sin, but it's what? Unethical. Okay? Number 4. The things you do when there are guests who respect the house and your father, they will reflect very bad on your father. You must protect the house and the father when they are guests. Don't prophesy when we give you a mic during Wednesday service, you don't. Now, during the main whatever, you have a word of the Lord. Don't. If you have never had the word of the Lord during Wednesday service, don't have the word now during ordination. We are ordaining leaders, precious is bubbling, is boiling with the prophetic word. never heard you prophesy. Now during this. Don't do that. It's unethical. Rather start small. Then you'll gain credibility. Okay? Number 5. People who view the house that you're part of, the local assembly you're part of, in a very good way, maintain it. Maintain it. These are ethics for members, right? This is not for leaders, these are ethics for members. When people regard the house that you're part of in a very positive way, please maintain it. Don't mess it up. During the service, ethics of members. During the service, sons must learn to be people of few words that are sound and direct to the point. Don't attempt to preach to impress the guests. Don't. Just speak what you're to speak, straight to the point, and leave. Okay? Number 7. Members must give their pastors privacy. Members must give their pastors privacy. You shouldn't be getting so used to the phone of your pastor and now opening the WhatsApps of your pastor, unless if you've been asked to handle Facebook of the leader. Now you are in the inbox and all of that. I'm not saying there should be something dodgy there, but respect the space that is supposed to be respected. Okay? I wish somebody was here on this one. Don't fall into the trap of impressing guests or other speakers who might be present. And I've seen this happening a lot of times, that people act very spiritual when there's a guest. Very, very, very spiritual. When you're with us, you're okay, you're normal. When there's a guest, you're shivering. You're there. You are on fire, you are feeling it, you are on your feet, you are so blessed and so taken. You are even speaking in tongues. Don't impress the guests. And don't have this pick-me attitude when there's a prophetic guest. You have now these things, some immature prophets always want to pick people. Bring that woman here, bring that woman here. That woman has been playing pick-me card all the whole service. She has been playing pick-me, the whole service. I'm going to come to prophetic ethics. As prophetic leaders and prophetic vessels, never fall for that never fall for that trick where a person has pick-me attitude. And sometimes as pastors, we know our people, that we know this one is not for bubbling dimensions, but today they are bubbling. Today they are boiling. They want that man that woman to pick. Brother, I see 1, 2, 3. It's a pick-me attitude. Okay? And some people, I've seen it happening also when I travel with people. At home, they're normal. When we travel, they are on fire. They are set on fire. You've never seen those dimensions. Sunday morning, all these times I'm with you, you are not boiling, you are not on fire. I travel with you, we go to Matati and they go. Or we visit your hometown. I get invited in your hometown. Your cousins, your parents are there. Since you've been in the city, they are not so sure whether you are still saved or not. Now we visited your hometown. You want to maintain the lie that you are still saved. So you shake, you vibrate, you scream. This is our pastor. You want to show the whole village that this is our pastor. Come on, don't do that. I'm not saying don't be blessed, but if you are blessed when we are in Matatiele, be blessed even here. Huh? Please, man, don't do that. Yeah, it's uncalled for. I've moved to hometowns with some of you. Hey, I see you on fire when we're in your hometown. So much on fire in their hometown. I was shocked. This man is vibrating. We were in his hometown and the parents were there. The man was like this, standing like this. I'm preaching. He's standing like this. I almost said to him, please sit down. Because I can tell even he handled the hands so spiritually. You know when you don't want the fire to erupt. So he's with stretched head, with stretched legs, and I was so annoyed and so irritated. This guy, please sit down because I'm with you every single day. You are not like this. Just because mom and dad are here, you're afraid they will deport you back to the village. Now you want to impress. It's unethical. It's unethical. You can't fake the move of the Spirit. We can't fake it. Okay? As local church members, we must not impress guest speakers by acting more spiritual. When I'm with you, you don't talk apostolic language and these deep apostolic terms. We bring in a guest who's very apostolic, you change the tune. You're talking dimensions, you are expressing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't change your terminology just because there's a guest. Okay? So, right, so what number are we? Number 9, very, very important. This one is very, very important. It's a very important ethic. Don't welcome the guests of your pastor who are present in a meeting unless you've been asked to do it. It's unethical. If there are 4 or 5 pastors who have joined us for a meeting and you are maybe doing something in the service, maybe you are an MC or we don't do MCs, maybe we ask you maybe to welcome guests and so on. Leave the pastors to your leader. Welcome everybody, but don't touch the guests. Okay? Don't welcome dignitaries that are peers of your leader. And I find you asking Bishop so-and-so to stand. You have not been asked to do it. You're asking so-and-so to stand and wave to the church. No, it's unethical. It's unethical. Unless you've been asked to do it. It's always proper to allow, senior leaders to do that. Okay? Number 10. This one you're going to, or you might have met it already or experienced it. Don't allow visiting guests to recruit you to join them. Some will tell you, what are you doing here? You're too heavy for this place. Don't allow guests to recruit you. There are some unethical guests who recruit. They look in the church who is active here. Especially those of you who are now acting up because there's a guest. Now you're acting more spiritual. Now you're putting yourself in a risky place because they might approach you. Okay? So they might recruit you. Don't allow guests to recruit you. Okay, number 12. Don't surprise us on big days. Read the mood and the atmosphere. Once they are guests of honor, know your place and don't force to function. And surprise us on big days. We rather, for example, we rather have one person leading music the whole session rather than people who are still emerging, learning, and force. Okay? So you also don't want to be learning in the wrong time. Don't embarrass your leaders and parents in the midst of guests. Don't embarrass the vision and the house by forcing to function when the atmosphere has changed. Put the program integrity, protect the integrity of the program. and the meeting.